What is the most ridiculous thing you have overheard somebody say? On the shuttle bus to campus. He keeps saying he loves me more than I love him, it's ridiculous. Well, you are cheating on him. He doesn't know that, though, so it's not fair. Why didn't Bush stop Katrina? Overheard a girl say this at school in the days after the hurricane. I imagine she hoped that President Bush would stand on the beach in Louisiana, wielding his executive staff of power, and shouting "You all shall not pass," as the hurricane roars in angry defiance and turns back its course in the face of such ethereal power. Clinton would have stood at the harbor with his pants down saying, "Hey Katrina, blow this." A friend of mine once described his music tastes as stuff that could be played at Starbucks, but has not yet been played at Starbucks. Years ago, I worked in the dairy department of a grocery store. From time to time, we would have sales in which the price of a half-gallon of milk was less than half the price of a gallon of milk. I was never quite sure why we sold any gallon jugs during those periods, until one day while restocking, I overheard this gem. Lady 1, oh look, a sale on half-gallons. Lady 2, how many half-gallons are in a gallon? Lady 1, without missing a single beat, 4. Lady 2, effing, store name. I can overstate neither the speed with which Lady 1 replied to her friend, the confidence in her own answer, nor the immediacy with which the second lady both believed her and cursed my workplace. It was a thing of beauty. I don't like that new guy. He looks prejudiced. But that's. I was in Walmart and overheard two college girls. I can't find any toast. No, you have to buy bread and cook it in an oven and then it becomes toast. Oh. Lol, you're so funny. I don't know who let their kid get to their 20s before teaching them how to make toast, but that should be a sin. A teenager on the bus once said that if your hair is dyed when you get pregnant you can pass that color on to your child. The other day while in the public toilets, "Alright mate, how are things? I would shake your hand but you got a cock in it." I overheard a woman on a train, who claimed to be an accomplished magic witch, explain how you can brew most simple potions in an ordinary crock pot without losing much effectiveness versus a traditional flame-heated cauldron. She was also an aspiring singer/actress, so triple threat I guess. Why don't gay guys get pregnant? I wish I could say this was said in jest. People don't believe me when I stress exactly how serious this person was. Drunk college girls walking down the street when one says, "Sarah, remember when you were Jessica and I peed on you?" My roommate told me the other day that the eggs are hatching. I was confused and asked for an explanation. He said they filled Beanie Babies with spider eggs. That's what those white balls are inside them. Apparently there was one of those stupid articles going around on Facebook saying that the old Beanie Babies were filled with spider eggs and are starting to hatch after all of these years. He full-on believed it. Do you think Brazilians celebrate Christmas? Yeah, probably, but it's probably on a different day. Yeah, that makes sense. This guy I used to work with was bragging about how quickly he walked to work, 12 miles in 1 hour. He was an ass clown. My idiot cousin once told pregnant me, if you raise your arms above your head the umbilical cord will get wrapped around your baby's neck. This guy at my boarding school was chock full of them. He would say the most insane bullshit completely straight-faced and actually expect us to believe it. Think Frankie Grant from Big Brother. He claimed to be a shapeshifter and was obsessed with wolves. His wall was completely covered in pictures of wolves he cut out from several wolf-themed calendars. He fully committed in orientation week to telling everyone that he would turn into a wolf whenever there was a full moon and that he would have to be alone in his room on those nights for our safety. He was trying to get into someone's dorm room one time and threatened to just shapeshift into water and go under the doorway. It honestly just became a game to let him keep going and ask him questions to see how deep of a hole he would dig for himself. Because not only would he say these lies, he would remember them. They became part of his mythology and he would have to juggle these falsities and call back old lies to make them seem believable. Before I continue, I want to stress something very important. We were all 16, 17, 18 years old at this time. One time we were playing pool in the rec room and talking about how there have been some people born allergic to water and how they pretty much die right after being born. Dummy chimes in with, "I'm allergic to water." After leading him on to keep going, he went, "Yeah, if I drink a bottle of water, I'll throw up for a couple of hours." For the rest of the year, I took relish in catching him at lunch drinking water and asking him if he'd be okay. "Yeah, I've been feeling a lot better lately, so I think I can cheat a little today." The best part is that there was a female equivalent at the school and I heard them talking in the computer lab and they were crafting the greatest sci-fi/fantasy story of all time. He was telling her about how he learned that he was a shapeshifter when he was in 4th grade and she was regaling him with stories of how she was royalty and that her family took their Learjet to England during Labor Day weekend to have tea with the Queen. I just can't. Would probably be when I was shadowing a coworker at my job when I first started. They were talking to a client who was having trouble with the software and eventually got to the point where my coworker asked if they could send a screenshot. That's when I heard the client say, "Can I fax you a screenshot?" This was not a question of if it was possible but instead a question of if this would suffice for my coworker. My coworker gave me a WTF kind of look and said that would be fine. Lo and behold, we received a fax of a screenshot shortly after that. Overheard 2 employees talking at Starbucks, "It's like all we do here is make coffee." I was working in the library one day in high school, and there were these 2 girls sitting behind me working on the computer. I assume they were working on a Spanish assignment. Anyway, I overhear one of them ask the other for a large, Spanish-speaking country. I turn around and tell them that Mexico is a good choice, and the most obvious one, I would think. In response, one of the girls looks at me and says they don't speak Spanish there, they speak Mexican. I heard one man ask the captain of a sunset sailboat, "How many sunset tours do you do a day?" The captain just kinda looked at him all weird and the man said, "Oh, right," and walked away slowly. I laughed and made a comment to the captain about how silly that question was. He just nonchalantly said, "You would be surprised how often I'm asked that." Yes, this was in Florida. I was in an economics class and the discussion was about improving or growing the labor force within the United States and some girl in front of me stated, "We should reinstate the draft so that more men are out of the labor force and therefore more women can enter." The professor, who normally enjoys playing devil's advocate and entertaining amusing ideas, was simply shocked at the stupidity. I was working in a call center trying to help this guy sign into an account of his, and he kept telling me, "Your stupid site isn't working." After probably around 15 minutes, I asked him what internet browser he is using, thinking maybe it is an outdated version of Internet Explorer or something. He then in a totally serious voice says, "Wait, does my computer have to be on for me to access the internet?" Just yesterday I heard a woman at my work ask what's the capital of Amsterdam? Her friend followed up with, "Pretty sure it's Copenhagen." She wrote answer down on something with a confident look on her face.